Hello, this is Talks with G. I'm G. Welcome. This is a video. It's going to be kind of interesting. If you guys have seen the title, this isn't going to be a normal video. I'm not going to be talking about space. I'm not going to be talking about revolutions of the galaxy or genetic, evolution or any of that. Actually, I'm going to be talking about something quite differently. I'm going to be doing a little bit of an audible. I'm calling it an audible. And so I'm going to give you the lowdown. This is a scooter. Yes, this is a scooter. You can't quite see the bottom of it. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. But long story short, I live in a relatively small town. And my commuting distance total is 5 miles. That's not a lot. That's round trip in an entire day. Long story short, my car had some troubles. And I got to take it to the shop. But I had to wait for 2 weeks. And I'm taking it in tomorrow morning. But I still needed to get to work, and I still needed to get around for schoolwork and stuff. I had to get to the office and all those things. So I looked into other modes of transportation. And I never thought I would have bought one of these things, but this was a Razor E300 electric scooter. So long story short, it sells for $200 on Amazon. It's got a range of, well, it doesn't really have a range. It says that it will go for about 40 minutes on a fully charged battery. And on top of that, it says it will hit 15 miles an hour. So this is the electric scooter. I'm an adult. Okay, first let's say this. Like, I'm an adult. I don't weigh 200 pounds, but I'm somewhat close to 200 pounds, and that's the max limit, but it still works. It works just fine. But that said, if you're an adult, you're not going to get 15 miles an hour. On a full charge, this thing will start at around 12, and it'll end when I get home at around 9 miles an hour. So that's basically it. It's an electric scooter. It goes for 40 minutes. It goes 12 to 15 miles an hour if you're an adult, and it works just fine. I wanted to go a little bit more into why I bought it and review it, because I was looking at YouTube. When I was looking at buying something, when the thought of me, maybe I'll get an electric scooter came to me, I didn't really know anything. I didn't know any good ones. I saw this on Amazon. It had like 4 to 5 stars. I really recommend getting it through Amazon, because if you have Prime, you get free shipping, so that's huge. Anyways, I'm just going to go. I bought the scooter because I did not... I'm making this video because all the reviews sucked. Okay, they sucked. Like, this... all the reviews were from kids, like in the neighborhood, like 13-year-old kids. It's like, dude, your camera position is just not right. You're not reviewing this. So let me just make this known, I'm reviewing the Razor E300 from the perspective of an adult. If you're a grown human being and you have a job and you're over 18, this is the review for you. If you're a kid, I can't help you. If you're over 18 and you actually are seriously considering getting something like this for some kind of mode of transportation, this is what the review is for. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a little bit about the scooter. As you can see, this is the Razor E300. Congratulations! And as you can see, there's 2 tires. They are filled with air. They're actually quite bulky, which is good. They're chunky. They're not bulky. They're chunky, which will allow you to go through the grass or cut around anywhere you need to. If you look up here, I've added some extras. I have a light for when I ride at night, and I have a bike cable for when I park to go to the store. It's actually rather capable. I connect it down here near the wheel and just assume no one's going to take the time to steal it. Anyways, this is the gas, or shall I say electric, and this is the brake. Pretty simple. It works pretty fast. I would say that it takes about, depending on how much you weigh and whether it's flat or downhill, it will take you about 5 seconds to hit full speed. Anyways, if we go along to the back over or to the side, it's relatively simple. There is a kickstand here, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's an on switch, off switch, and there's a plug-in for the electric, and I'll get into charging in a little bit. One thing that you might have noted is that I made a modification. I actually cut the top of some plastic bin, and I extended this overhang partition here because it wasn't catching the water enough. My back was getting wet. It rains a lot in Oregon, and my back was getting wet, so I just undrilled these holes and re-drilled. I cut some holes into this piece of plastic, and I cut a slit for the backlights. That doesn't normally look like that. So that's one design fault, is if it's wet, you are going to get sprayed, and you're going to have to think about maybe changing that. So anyways, let's go to charging and talking the rest. It's pretty simple. It's a scooter. We don't need to talk too much about it. Okay, so this is the Razor E300. Like I said, charging, depending on how low in the battery you've gone, I would say if you were riding for 20 minutes or less, it's going to take about 1 to 3 hours to charge. If you drain the battery completely, and I've only gotten close, I think once, I rode for like 20 to 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes. Charging took a while. It took about 5 or 6 hours, but for the most part, it doesn't really need that much time to charge. And once it's on green, you just unplug it. You have to charge it with the switch off, and there you go for that. So I'm going to be honest. There's two ways to look at this. This scooter was not built for someone like me. This scooter was not built for adults. It's that simple. You just need to know that. I didn't really know that going into it. I thought like maybe it could support my weight, my height, and I thought the speed was okay. And it will do that. It will get you from A to B, but it will not get you there as fast as you think it will before you buy. Like if you're thinking you're going to zip to work, you're not going to zip to work. You're going to cruise to work. You go roughly the speed as not trying that hard on a bicycle. So there's that. So I was expecting a scooter that was going to be really zippy, and it's not. This scooter was built for someone. This scooter was built for kids. This scooter was built for young teenagers who don't have a car yet because they can't get a driver's license. So they have this, and I think it was also designed for someone that lives in California. This was like the people who marketed this product didn't put a lot of thought into weather. I will say it's well sealed. The seals are really good. I mean, I live in Oregon and it's raining a lot right now in November. And so I haven't had a single issue. I've ridden this thing probably 20 to 30 miles total in just complete rain. And it does handle really well. I haven't had any issues with the electricity, knock on wood. But it's solid. It's a very solid and well-constructed scooter that will get you anywhere. And even if you weigh 200 pounds, even though it says the limit is 200 pounds, I think it would comfortably fit you. You're just not going to go that slow. On top of that, incline hills, I would say almost every single hill I've been able to go up. There's only one hill that's really steep that you probably will not be able to go up with at least trying to have like an assisted kick up the hill, but it really isn't an issue. I would say for most gradients you will ever really see, except for something in San Francisco, you're likely to be able to go up it. So that's not really a concern. So that's that. This review is actually a lot easier than I thought. My main concern that when I was buying it was, will this fit me? Will it work? And the short answer is yes, it will work, but it doesn't mean it's the best product for an adult. I would say if you're an adult and you want to zip to work and you're trying to get to work relatively quickly, spend the extra, I would say spend the extra money. There's some interesting scooters. I can put some links below for ones that I found that have like a 1,000 watt battery and they're 36 volts. This one only has a 250 watt battery and it's only 24 volts. And those ones will hit 20 to 30 miles an hour. And if you're an adult and you're looking for a scooter or some way to replace your current means of commuting to and from work on a daily basis, if you are an adult, this is not the scooter you probably want to buy. That said, I've already spent the money, $200, and I bought an extra charger for when I'm at the office, so I charge it every time I get to the any place I go. Which I do recommend. You can get extra chargers for like 15 bucks, totally worth it, totally worth it. It just extends your range throughout the day. I already spent the $200, and I'll put it this way. This scooter is good enough for me to not want to sell it and spend $500 on a faster scooter, if that makes sense. If there were better reviews out there that had reviewed this scooter for adults, I probably would not have bought this. I probably would have waited and spent a little bit more money on a really fast, awesome scooter. But that said, I'm not disappointed. My expectations were not met, but this is critical. My expectations exceeded the scope of engineering for the product, and because of that, I cannot fault the product for that. I would give this scooter 4 out of 5 stars. I would give this scooter, if you're an adult, if you're shorter and you don't weigh as much, then this actually might be better. But if you're a grown man, skip it. That said, once I get my car working, I probably will not use this every day. so that also is a factor. But if you're looking to replace your current means of commuting, definitely pony up for the bigger watts, the bigger batteries, just the bigger scooter. I do not fit the scope of engineering. But that said, if you're looking to buy this scooter for a kid, this is awesome! This is so cool. If you're looking, I swear, I take my word for it. My criticism is the criticism of an adult who is beyond the scope of the engineering for the scooter, which this scooter has still held up. So it is well engineered. I would say it's really well engineered. If you're looking for a scooter that will hit 12 to 15 miles an hour, will not break, look to last for a relatively long time, whether it's for your child or your grandchild, this is an awesome scooter. This is really a lot of fun. If I was a kid, I am a kid inside, but if I was 13, if I weighed my 13-year-old self, if I was 13 years old and I was trying to go to the local store, this would be so much fun. This would be so great. I would say it's really safe. Granted, it's an electric scooter, so just the fact that it is that, it's not really safe. But the tires are huge. These tires will go over anything. Really stable, large platform, really easy to grip and control. The controls are really easy to get to. Really no complaints. This is a really solid scooter. And if you're looking to get this for someone who is not a framed adult, this is a great scooter. This is definitely worth the money. $200. It's a lot of fun, and it will easily last 30 minutes to 40 minutes of runtime. If you're an adult, I'd say skip it unless you really just are not using to use it every day as you're commuting, which is what I'm currently doing right now. And the scooter is just not engineered within that scope and scale for that. So that's it. Talks with G. This was a completely different video. This was not a video that I've ever done before. Completely different than the older ones. But I'll be getting back to other topics and ideas. But I wanted to show also that I can do things and talk about real things that might help people. So I'm going to be doing other things kind of like off the wall kind of talks. So this is Talks with G. I'm G. Click like, subscribe. Go to my website, talkswithg.com. I've got all my videos, all my social feeds, all the connections there. I'll be keeping in touch. Tweet me, Facebook me. I have the posts. Everything's there. Ask me questions. If you want to see other reviews and other thoughts that I have about other products aside from just my thoughts of the universe or just science stuff, send me stuff so then I have things to talk about. That's it for the video. Really buy the scooter. This is the best scooter you can buy if it's for a kid or a grandkid. If you're an adult and you need something to replace for an alternative commuting, just work harder, save a little bit more money, and get the big ones for the adults. Those look awesome. If I hadn't bought this one, I would have totally gotten those. But that said, this is good enough at $200 to keep me from selling it and getting one of the faster ones.